Arnold, I am a parent. I'm a grade 9 parent. And the kind of confusion that I experience in trying to understand what's happening has persisted for the last 7 years since the rollout of the CBC. Bwana Mbai says there's an issue of communication. Is this the same problem across all systems that the government has sought to change, including SHA, which is still on the front page, that people are still confused about?
I think government has got so many communicators and very little communication. I don't know that that is by design, because also the biggest problem has been that there is a conflation that journalism is equivalent or is equals to communication. So you have got a lot of journalists employed by government, but they simply cannot communicate. There's a reason why communication is a subject on its own and journalism stands out alone. So that is one of the biggest failures of this regime. Whether it's by design or not, it's something that probably we will have to study further. And it speaks to even the issues about, for example, mathematics that Mwalimu Sosiono was talking about. You know, the language of the universe is physics. But physics cannot be possible without mathematics, because mathematics is actually the basis, the foundation upon which physics then is actually founded. So if you're going to survive and do anything, I'm even surprised when Doc says here that at advanced level you don't do maths. Math has got a way of actually just changing clothes, whether it is quantitative techniques, whether you're calling it calculus, whatever you're calling it, math has a way of showing up in very different ways. There's literally no subject today at advanced level that we're going to do that wouldn't really, math wouldn't show up in one way or the other. Unless we really want to bring up a generation that looks like Americans when it comes to geography. They don't know whether Africa is in Nigeria. Totally, as in we cannot become a population that people are going to laugh at. So I have seen the president also speak about this. Initially when I was there, I think at some point I spoke about government failure in communication. And the president also spoke to that. But somehow nothing happens. There is no alternative. As in, we can talk about it, but nothing actually happens. Today, you will actually see the government spokesperson do a press and you guys will not even report. He can do an update on what the government is doing and you guys never report anything. So it's something that he really needs to look up to, because to give them, to be fair to them actually, there's so much work that they've actually been able to do. But it's poorly being communicated and they're not doing anything about it. So I don't know that the president is the only communicator in government today, as it were, and everybody else is just there to actually cheer him on. So I'm not in a place where now I can actually do advisory work to the government. I can only just get...
And probably clarify on that, because now you come here and as the party leader, Progress Plus Alliance.
Yes.
We've previously known that you worked with this administration as a strategic communications advisor.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time you're getting to explain yourself on Morning Cafe.
Not really. I've actually done... Oh, well, on Morning Cafe, you've refused to call me here, but I've done it elsewhere.
You're here with us. What happened?
Ever since I became a party leader, you refused to call me, but then...
So
here we are.
You're here now, Karibu.
Well, nothing really happened, but I think we are 2.5 years to the next election, and we have to prepare for where we are going. I have had my chance to actually do a little work with UDA, worked with them. I think it has actually been a very wonderful experience for me, because a lot of times, if you do not get a chance to work on some of these things, you don't get better. So for me, that is an opportunity I will actually always be grateful for, because it's prepared me for much better. But generally, I think that for the third republic, whether you call it the third or sixth, depending on how you want to look at it, is that we probably need a little bit of a different thinking and a preparation of my generation, a party that understands my generation, and moving forward. Because we are not going to solve the problem of my generation with the same thinking that created them. So I believe that at diagnostics level, the Kenya Kwanza administration got it so well. The bottom-up economic thinking, any other person who's coming to try get into power and not have that as a framework of how you actually move the country forward will be lying to us. So at diagnostics level, they did very well. The challenge has been at implementation, but that is an issue of leadership. And since I'm actually elsewhere building a party that also wants to capture power and administer state, I wouldn't be in the business of advising them on how to do it.
And you've painted the UDA and you're working with them in a nice picture. But does it mean now you've severed links completely with Kenya Kwanza, or is the Progress Plus Alliance affiliated still to UDA and Kenya Kwanza?
No, we are not affiliated to UDA or Kenya Kwanza. We are a new party that is putting its house in order, and we purpose, by the way, to field everybody from the presidency. So
this is like a defection from UDA?
It's not necessarily a defection. Article 38 rights apply to all of us, and defection should not necessarily be looked at as anything that is actually negative. So there is nothing that happened. Wachana na gossip. Let's just...
No, I mean, what Arnold is saying,